All right, you're welcome, everyone. Thank you for being on the call at this time. This is a community engagement, and this is just to help ourselves get better. So, this is my entire screen as at now, right? But permit me to just minimize a bit. And the focus for today is this one that you are seeing. We just want to pick on some things and so that we can understand better. I remember a few of us reach out that they have issues. I mean, they want a clarification. I mean, they want some clarifications on some keywords. And just so you know that that also was put into consideration when this was put in together. You can see that we're already recording the session, and this will be made available as usual on the YouTube channel. So uh, let me come back to my slide. Just a way of introduction for some. We just added some people to the group based on the request. So I will just move to, let me just put this on slide mode. And oh, sorry about that. Let me just go straight to this one. Uh, so as a way of introduction, this is the person talking to us at this time. My name is Olajide Ito, and we are just here to help ourselves get better. A lot of people have benefited from the community engagement in terms of help getting better at what they do. Of course, also some people also got jobs, and I mean, community as a way of helping the community members. So please do not hesitate. If you have any questions, there are no stupid questions. Be free to ask questions. You can show with the raise of hand. You can drop a chat in the chat box on Teams. Let me just show that in case there is noise around you. You can always show with a raise of hand, right? When you do that, your hand is raised, and you can, if you want to lower it, you just click on the same. And you have a question, you can make use of the chat, drop your questions. We'll be able to answer that. All right. So Joseph is one of the community members. So, and it's going to be of help to us today. Is going to just uh, facilitate the session for today. So Joseph, are you on the call, please?
Yes, I am. Good morning, everyone.
Great, awesome. So Joseph, please, you can share your screen. So and take it over.
All right.
I've stopped sharing.
Okay, so I'm sharing my screen now. Please let me know when you can see my screen.
I can see your screen. Yes.
All right. So thank you very much, Mr. Jide. Like you rightly said, this is a community that even I myself have benefited from. So I welcome everyone to the class again. So this is an SQL class, and a quick introduction of myself. My name is Joseph Opene. I'm a data analyst and engineer with 4 years experience in business intelligence using tools like Power BI and SQL. Also, a Microsoft certified data analyst and data engineer, and currently work as a Power BI consultant. So today we'll be looking at topics that we're going to cover. We will be looking at topics like the select and from statements, the group by, the union, and the union or. We'll also be looking at the joins, aliasing, the case statements, and also updating. So I believe that every single one of us, we have looked at the um, data sets that we got from the group. I want to
Just
believe
a
that
moment,
everyone.
Joseph. So everyone, if you can hear us, just show with the raise of hand. Just be sure that you get because I can hear Joseph correctly. If you can hear us, please show with the raise of hand, because what we want to go to, I beg you to take advantage of this. These are the things people pay for. So if we are doing this for the community, is because we are trying to help ourselves. And you heard from Joseph, a lot of, us, we benefited from the community. So Joseph is also a good beneficiary of of whatever the community has offered. So it's a good beneficiary of that. So do not look at anybody's face. Do not, I mean, ask questions, please, I beg you. But this is just to ensure that everyone is carried along, everyone, no one is left behind. So we can lower hands. I can see few hands up, and I can see some thumbs up. Please let's lower hands. So Joseph, you can continue, please.
All right. So I already have my Microsoft SQL Server in my system, and I believe that by now we should be all set up. So let's look at how to bring in our data into our database. So if you open your database here, for me, I already have some database here, but for those that just did the SSMS into that system, let's look at a way to get it. So first thing you want to do is to
I'm
go to
sorry
this one.
for cutting in again.
Yes,
This
sir.
session is going to be interactive. Reason why Joseph is asking you. If you are working along with the class, show with the raise of hand, just so we know how many people have this. Uh, okay, so that it won't be so that if you are running or too fast, you get a point. At least I have one person. It's fine, just to know that we have some people that are, I mean, doing this alone. For others, don't worry. If you don't have it configured, you can just follow. All right. The point is, don't look strange. Don't feel like you are lost. So if things are not clear, I beg you to ask questions. Don't leave it until when everything now confuses you, but there won't be any confusion. Just ask. Now that we know it is one person for, I mean, practicalizing this or doing it alongside with with us, so that's fine. Uh, and Mr. Clinch, someone join us, Clinch. Please, are you following just to be sure? Just to be sure. And Joseph, let's do something. If this is your first time hearing about SQL, kindly show with the razor band. Okay, that means everyone is fine. So this is not nobody's first time. All right, so I think we are good to go. We can proceed.
All right, sir. So like Mr. Jide rightly said, please, if I am moving too fast, let me know. If I'm speaking too fast, please let me know. And there are no wrong questions, and whatever you don't have clarity on, please do not fail to call me back on that. Right. So like I already said, if you just have it in your system, you have your SQL Server over here with this symbol. So if you click on it, it will bring you to this interface. So to get your first database, and you want to right click on this, go to your new database. And I just want to call this, the database name, I want to call it, let's say test 5. And then I say, okay. So you can see that my database test 5 has been created, right? But if I open this up now, I can see that there is no table inside of it. So which now brings us to that our data that we have that we shared in the WhatsApp group. So let's get that into the system. You want to right click on this and then you go to your task. Our data is in a flat file, so we want to import a flat file. So we click on this. Where is it located? You browse, the location is on my desktop and it's over here. So let's get this first one and then say next. So this is it to give you a preview of your data. Then you click next, next, and then you finish. So if you refresh this now and you open up your data, your tables, you will see that you have this table already in the system, and we have 4. So let's do the same for the 3 others. Yes. All right, so let's get the last one and we should be good to go. All right, so let's refresh this so that all our tables can appear. So see, now we have everything that we need to work. So now we're going to right click and create a new query. This will open up a window where you can now start writing your SQL statements. Now, before we jump into action, I just want to quickly do a brief introduction of SQL, what SQL is, and the likes, right? So SQL is the name in itself is S structured, Q for query, and L for language. So SQL is a structured query language, and it's a programming language that is used to manage and manipulate relational database. Now, a lot of us must have seen this, right? So this is a relational database system, management system, relational based management system. Now, we have like different type of management systems. We have most of us are used to my SQL, Some of us know Postgres, Postgres SQL, and some of us are familiar with Oracle. Some of us know SQLite, but today we are going to be looking at the SQL Server, the Microsoft SQL Server. That's the one we're going to be working with today, the Microsoft SQL Server. Now, each of these databases, the SQL query, the language that you use in some of them are similar, while some of them are a little bit different. But if you know how to move around it, they'll practically do the same thing for you. There's just a little bit of tweak in the programming languages, right? So now, let me wipe this off. So now let's look at the several categories which the statements fall into. So number one, we want to look at the data query languages. That's the D, Q, and L. The data query languages. Now, the data query languages, these are like the one you use to retrieve data from your database, and it mostly involves the select statement. So you use your select statement to query your database. For example, you go to a store, right? And you see different goods that are in that store, but there's a particular one that you want to select. You want to select, and also the from. So you are selecting from that particular product. So that is the data query languages. Now we want to look at the next one, which is the data manipulation languages. Now, like the name rightly implies, this is what you use to manipulate your data. Now, you have gotten your flour. Now, it now depends on how you want to manipulate it. Do you want to make cake with it? Do you want to make bread with it? What do you want to make with it? And this is when you now start having your statements like insert, statements like update, and delete. Now, these are something like that. Now, let's go to the next one, which is the data definition languages. Now, this is used to define the structure of the database, including operations like create, alter, and the one that I'm always careful of, drop, because this is a very powerful query. this can drop a full table. And if you don't have backup for this, you've lost everything in that table. And it used to define the table. You can create, you can alter, and you can drop. Now, let's look at the last one, which is now the data control languages. So with this, you can use to give access to who has access to your data within the database, including this is mostly used by the database administrators, which they grant certain users permission, or they can revoke the permission that was given to a certain user. So this is the data control languages. So I want to believe that we're all still together. We're all following. Are we still together? Please show with a raise of hand. Like we
Yes.
rightly. All right. All right. Good. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you. Now, so these are the level of languages. Now, let's look at statements. Right. We want to now start doing deep dive into all these statements that we talk about. Now, let's start with your select statements. Now, the select statements usually goes with the from statement. For example, let's quickly look at one of these tables. So we say select asterisk from this table. So I can just click on this and drag this here, and I have it, or I can simply just type it and it will appear. So you can see that as I'm typing it, it's already appearing. So I want to take from A. Now, for those of us that don't know what this star means, so that asterisk simply means all. So you are selecting all the columns in this table. We want to select all the columns that are inside this table. So if I even put my mouse there, you can see that all the columns are appearing already. You have your customer, you have your first name, last name, phone number, and the rest. So we are selecting everything that are inside this table. So let's run this query. Now, just a quick side note, you need to look at where this query is running from. And how do you know that? You look at from the top here. It is running from this database test 5. If I have, it's running from this particular one test. If I run this, I'm going to have an error because this particular table is not in this database. So we want to make sure that we are running from the right database. So if we run this now, we're going to have our results. So we are looking at this. So we have the everything that is inside this table. We have the customer ID, the first name, the last name, the phone number, email, the street, city, amount, state, and zip code. Now, so this is just a basic select statement, right? So let's add, make it a little bit more bulky. Let's do more things to it. Now, I can now say inside this my select statement, I want to add a condition. And how do I add the condition? I can put in the where statements. So I can now say, okay, select everything from this table where first name, let me pick where the first name is equal to, let's say Kasha. So where first name equal to, let me run this. So you can see that out of all those our data that we have in the table, it's selected, it further narrowed it down to where the first name is equal to this particular name. So that is how you can further narrow it down to this. Now let's even narrow it further. Let me come here and comment. So when you comment a line out, what this simply does is that the code runs, but this particular one will not run, right? So if I pick all of this and I run it, okay, so this one is already commented out. So let's run all of this. So we have this. So let's further narrow it down by adding two conditions. I can say where, let's see. I want to be more specific this time. I want to say where first name equal to Deborah and amounts equal to, let me see, 7, 20. So now this will give you this because just in case, the reason why we are being more specific is just in case that there are more than one particular person that goes by the first name of Deborah. We further tie it down with these amounts because you can have more than one person with the name Deborah, but they cannot be paid the exact same amount. It's very unlikely. So this will further narrow it down for you. But let's even do something again. Let's take this one out. Let's run this. Now, so we have, if you look at this particular column here, we have amounts. So we have different amounts here, but we are looking at there's a particular range of people that we are interested in. We are interested in the people that end, let's say between the range of 100,000 to 200,000, where we don't really want to look at the rest for now. The people that we are interested in are people that fall within that range. So I can now say where amounts.
Just a moment. I hope we are following. I hope it's still clear. The essence of this is not that it should be one-sided. It is both sides, right? Okay, I can see thumbs up from Promise. All right. Mr. Clinch, okay, maybe, I don't know, he's on hold. Juliet, please, are you fine? Can we proceed? Ganiat, I can see, that means you're following. Lolo, you're following. Juliet, okay, good. All right, so that if anything looks strange, let us know. Thank you, you can show, you can lower your hands, then we continue. Joseph, please go ahead.
All right. So we want to pick amounts. Let's see. 8,000. Wait. So we're looking at 100,000 and
Just a moment. Ganiat, your hand is up. Do you have a question? Or you are saying you are following? Okay. I think she's following. Go ahead,
all
please.
right. All right then. So with this, we are looking at the people that their amount fall between 100,000 and 200,000. So if you look at here, you will notice that you will not see anybody that is lower than 100,000. So you can see the amounts here. Everything is within 100,000 and above. Right. So I wanted to ask if we're all following, but I think Mr. Jide already did that. So can we move on to the next one then? All right. So let's look at the next thing. I'm going to do Control N, which will open up a new window for me. So let's look at the next one, which is the group.
Joseph, sorry, I had the question.
Okay. All right. Please go
Yes.
ahead.
So in regards to the previous one that you sent, that one was between 100 and 200. So if you want to do like logical operators of greater than and less than, are you going to put it in symbol or you're going to write it as an English statement? Let's say you want to get the amount from 100,000, or if amount is greater than 100,000 and less than 200,000, how will you write the statements?
Okay, so if the amount is greater than 100,000 and less than 200,000, that is exactly what we just did here. right?
Lolo,
So you are
if you look at, you will just need to alter that. If you see between this and that, it's a range. So Joseph, you can go ahead and explain better, please.
okay. So I can also do this, right? This particular one is a range and that says between 100,000 and 200,000. But I can come here and if I still do greater than or equal to this, and let's say lesser than or equal to, yes. This should run. To be equal to lesser than 200,000.
Don't forget the error is already telling you incorrect syntax near.
Yeah.
So because
Equal to.
of how you structure this, you might want to look at that.
Okay, hold on. Select convert amount percentage and
If you, I know you're trying to figure which is fine. If Lolo says, Lolo, come back, rephrase what he said. So, Joseph, if you look at, you want to say less than or equal to, if it is greater or equal to, that means from one, then you should not be greater than,
100,000.
it will be less than and equal to. You get the point. Do you understand?
wait, please come again. Didn't get that.
It should not be more than 2,000, right? Is it 20,000 or 200,000?
200,000.
Then look
yes.
at that sign. So what will you, if you use
Less
greater than equal to in front, then use, you know what? You know that it shouldn't, it can't be equal to 200, less than or equal to 200,000. Do you understand?
Okay. So hence, if you are using the greater than or equal to 100,000, that already picks a range ahead of that particular amount of 100,000.
You are correct. I'm just trying to say the sign, you get the point, that you use in that place. You can use less than or equal to. You get the point, because is that not what she's saying, the
Yes,
range?
yes.
You understand?
Yes. Yeah. So this particular one, it's already I already tried this and it's still throwing up an error.
Remove, you want to remove the, because if you are not using keywords and you are using signs, you get my point.
Yeah. That's why I mostly like to use the between. The between statement practically does the same thing because with signs like this, you can have your you can throw up errors.
Remove the
If
and
I
sign, just so they understand better. Remove the and sign. So, but of course, it's already flagging an error. So Lolo, what he's trying to say is that whatever range, if you use between, then and will follow. Between this and that, it won't exceed that range. Let us know if that's what you're actually asking, which I think.
Yes, that's what I'm asking. But I wanted to
Okay,
also
so
know if
go
it's
ahead.
possible that we can use all these greater than
You will
signs
not
instead
be
of writing
using
it.
this. You need to know how to use keywords.
Okay.
You need,
Okay.
so you get the point. Use keywords. So you can see that because it's trying to use this, though there are ways to rephrase it and it's already flagging error. So you need to understand how to use the keyword. That is the essence. Anyone can do the sign, greater or less than, you get the point. But the keyword is what we should learn to use. So so you can go ahead, Joseph.
All right. So we change that to the keyword and it will practically do the same thing. So we are saying that the amount should be between 100,000 and 200,000. So it will, if you execute that, you see that particular amount here. Right. So should be all clear. So does that answer your question?
Just a moment. So that she can see it. Use, but I think what we are doing is practical, and I think it's fine. Come to the next, or alter that to the same sign. What do they call that sign now? Is it logical signs?
Yeah,
Those
logical
are,
signs.
no, just change it. Instead of between, change it back to that sign. And instead of and, instead of, yes, I wouldn't know. Then instead of and, use and person. And but that is join. Anyways, just go ahead. Use ampersand. That's shift. What is that? Shift 7 right on your keyboard.
Yes.
Then use the sign now. Use full space and use your sign. What is that sign? Is it less than or equal to? You
Less
get the
than
point.
equal to, yeah. Let's try this and see.
No, it's already flagging, but
The
just
error.
try.
Yeah.
Like anyways. But my point is, everyone is trying to interpret it like this, but you need to understand that you need to use keywords, right? You need to use keywords. It's not that this is not possible, right? But get familiarized with keywords. So thank you.
All right then. All right. So Lolo, can we move on to the next one, or do we have any more questions?
Yes, please, I'm fine. You can move on to the next. Thank you.
Okay. All right. All right. So we want to look at the next one, which is by. Now, this is simply a function that allows you to combine several rows of data into one. Like if you have like 6 to 7 rows of the same data, it can allow you roll them up into one. And most of the time you use them with an aggregate function, right? So first of all, we need to look at some aggregate function such as, let me look at, we have top, we have distinct, we have count, we have as, we have max, we have mean, and average, just from the top of my head. So with this, you can also use these aggregate functions with the select statements. We'll look at more examples of that and how all of this work. So let me just do a brief explanation on each. So with top, this simply just talks about selecting a particular number of data. Let's put them into practical. So let's top 5 from our table. If we run this, so out of all every data that we have, we said we should select the top 5. So it's giving you the very first 5. You change this into 2 and run it to give you the top 2. So you simply want to just have a look of your data. You just need a small sample from that data. You can use the top function. Now, let's look at the next one. So we have distinct. So let's see, what can we use for that? So let's use state. So we say, give me distinct. All right. So we need the distinct state from this table. So let's run this. So you can see that distinct, when we talk about distinct means the unique values. So over here, let's see. This time around, let's get this off and use star. So if we run these two together, so we see that for the lower one, we have people that come from these particular states, but there are multiple of them. People that come from NY, New York, there are a lot of people that come from New York. But what you are asking this first command to do is that I know that there are several people that come from New York or from TX, which is Texas or California, but I want to see the states that are not repeated, unique ones. So it is showing you that in this, your first query, there are only 3 unique states: California, New York, and Texas. So that is what your distinct will do for you. Now let's look at the next function, which is count. So we want
Just
to
a moment.
count.
I hope this is clear because he's speaking it one by one. For example, in case someone is on the call and it is not clear. Okay, Lolo, thank you. If they say how many of us are on this call, we are 12, but if they say how many male, how many, if they say how many male and how many female, it's going to count head count by one person. But if you say distinct counts, then all the male will be counted as one, all the female will be counted as one. That is what that distinct is to me. So that's why you see all the states being counted as CA. It doesn't matter the occurrence of CA, is seen as one. So that is what that is doing, which I believe. But if you need clarification, ask Joseph. He's going to just do that. Thank you, sir. Bye.
All right. So please, let's not fail to ask any questions where we don't have clarity. So the distinct just simply shows you the unique values, right? So
Gania's
to
hand
show,
is up. Gania's hand is
oh,
up.
can you please unmute and speak, please?
Sorry, I missed the part where you use the, yeah, please, I missed the part where you use stop, select stop.
Okay, all right. So let's quickly show that. So
Thank you.
let's select up 2 from, all right. So with this stop, what this stop is just doing is taking a sample out of the large data that you have. So you don't want to see everything because it depends on the size of your table. If your table is large and it runs into millions of rows, I've run a particular table that it takes 7 hours to run. It depends on the size of your data. So instead of waiting for all that time to see everything that is inside your table, all you simply need to do is just take a sample of it and see. So you are telling it to give you only 2 rows out of all the rows that are inside this table. So if I select this and I run it, so it's giving me 2. And you can see that the response time is much, much quicker. So is that clearer?
So select stop cannot be used to select stop customers, right?
Can you come again? I didn't get that.
The select stop statement cannot be used to select stop customers, like select 2 top customers or select 5 top customers.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, Joseph, go ahead, please.
Okay, so when you talk about top customers, are you talking about like the ones that are occur first or the ones that occur the amount, or how are you talking about?
I'm sure
The
she's
amount,
referring
yes,
to
the
top,
amount.
top 3 performing staff, top 20. You got the point. That is top performance. This top that he used here is just to say, give me the first 5 records. Give me the first 2 records. That is what this is. This one is querying. You get. But that one that you are asking is not this one. That one is top N. But it won't be used. How will I put it to you? There are ways to use that, right? If I'm going to do that, there is, Joseph can explain more, but let me just give you an idea. I'll say select top, then you do an expression. For instance, top clause, it has some syntax. top is the keyword that extracts the data from the top of the list. Expression is the data that is being extracted from the table, maybe top 10 customer. Then the percentage is number of rows that need to be extracted from the table. Though when you are using top n, I mean, in that context, in fact, like when you say top n, you get the point. When you are using that, then there is, I think it's two ways. For the top, for the select top expression, there is one with ties, and there's another one without ties. But that is not, I'm not sure that is I'm not sure Joseph is doing that in that context right now. Joseph,
Yes.
do you
So
understand what she's asking?
yes, I understand. So let's
Yeah.
quickly let's see if we can manipulate our code to give us this particular context that you're talking about. So let's say we want to know our top performing customers, right? So we say select
Yes, sir.
star from this our table. Right? And now we want to order by
Okay.
the amount, right? So if we run this one, so you can see that we are ordering these are all the customers, and we are ordering by the amount, starting from the smallest down to the biggest. But we can inverse this, right? This is in ascending order. We can inverse this to descending order. And I can, if I say ASC, this is ascending, it will give us practically what we have here. But if I change this to DESC, which is descending order, it will give me the opposite, which is showing the highest first. Now, if I now want to now say, okay, I don't want to see everything, I only want to see my top 5 performing customers, I will now add another condition and say limit 5.
5. Wow.
Let's add this. Complaining. Okay, something going on here. A minute, please. Okay, Mr. Jide. Hello, Mr. Jide on this call.
Yes, sorry.
Yes. So I'm using the limit function on this, but I'm having an error. So we have sorted out our customers in descending order, which we have this. So we want to limit it to the top 5, but I do not know why this is throwing an error.
Okay, let me see. Let someone drop. Let me just help you before I come. I'm thinking we can use top with descend and ascend, right or wrong?
Yeah, so let's even try that.
Okay, answer the question. Yeah.
Sorry. So we have this. So this will practically give us our top 5 performing customers. So does that answer the question?
Ganiya, take a look at this.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
All right.
Yes,
so hold on, because this one, right? When we say top n, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. If you need to say you want to select from the entire record. What are you selecting? You want this top 5 is not about how they appear on the row. This will be based on money amount. Gania, let us know if you understand. Then that order by is going to order by amount. That's why it's following. And the descending order means highest to the lowest. But if you say ascending, and there is no need for
Yes,
limit.
I
That's the
understand,
thing.
sir.
So I just and
Yeah.
so this is me reacting to in this context, this will just be top 20, top 5. So there's no need for limiting. Actually, there's no need for limit. So the reason why I was
Yes,
saying that
I didn't want to use
if
the
and because
top.
what was I
Fine.
think what was missing, though I didn't look at what was missing was that you didn't order by, right? Am I correct? Maybe you didn't
No,
use
I
money.
added the order by the
Okay.
amount.
And so, but I'm sure that Ganiat is fine now.
Yes, I am. Thank you, sir.
You're
Right.
welcome.
Right. So this statement just gives you the top 5 that are ordering by the amounts. So it gives you the amount in descending order, starting from the highest to the lowest. If I was to flip this, I would have from the top
So
5
Joseph, before you even
lowest.
proceed, let's yeah, very correct. No, if you say, let me see, descending. Okay. Let's throw this open to let me see how people will figure this out. I think that just keep up because I look at what you just did. My God. Sorry, I'm not sure I can remember. The thing came and I wanted us to just. Okay, good. Good. So Miriam and everyone, Joseph should not do this. Let's see, just drop it in the chat box, right? If okay, please run the entire table first. Select all. So that they can look at it. Okay, so everyone just glance through this table. So the question would then be, so I will say it in English so that you can figure out. I need, so if you look at the state, the other time you actually, okay, after this, please, the next line, run the state, the extent, you get. You know what I mean?
Wait, this particular
Joseph.
one, this first one?
Run the extent. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So everyone take a look. This is a clue. No problems. So don't run this again. Run the entire table. I'm laughing in a way. Run the entire table. But I know that a lot of people have figured it out before I even ask. So what you want to bring back is the total amount for each state. How are we going to do that? Joseph, please do not. I just want to, I know that we have powerful people here. What you want to bring back now from this table is the total amount for each state. How would you run that? You can drop it in the chat or you can unmute and say it. So Miriam, Juliet, Joan, how do we, if you didn't hear the question, you can ask me again, I will say it. Do you want me to say it again? Don't worry. It is, we are doing this, we are learning together. Do you want me to repeat the question? I think Miriam is trying to say something. But your mic, right?
Is my mic on? Can you hear me?
It's fine now. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I think it will be select some.
Let's
The name of
yeah,
column.
let's hold on. Let Joseph be typing,
Then we
then
go
you
by
give an
state.
instruction.
Okay, so come again so that I'll be typing as you speak. All right, so let's go.
So what do we want? Do we want
You have answered, just say what
select,
you have answered it. Mhm.
okay. Select some amount, comma state.
Hold on, let me help you again. Okay, is that how you want it? Go ahead, it's fine. Just go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
Comma
He said
state.
comma state.
Okay.
Or is it city?
Don't worry, yeah,
From
just go ahead.
the table name.
You can't. Okay, you want to write it down? It's fine on the singular. Yeah.
Okay. Then you go on to
No.
group by.
She's not done.
Okay.
You can't even
all right.
you get error.
You
I
will group
thought she
by.
was done.
No,
All
no,
right.
no.
Go by. Mm-hmm.
Then you will group by
Mm-hmm.
state. Group by state.
So when you are done, Miriam say you are done, but don't run into yet. Miriam, are
So
you
this
done?
give
That's
only
fine.
the state and the amount.
What will this give us?
Only the amount and only the state.
Okay, it's
Oh,
either
this
my
will give
internet
so
or
we
yours.
can put this thing in front, can't we?
No, hold on. Don't worry.
Can you hear
Don't
me?
worry. We can hear you. I can hear you now. Can anyone hear me? Just to be sure.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes,
Okay.
we can
So
hear you.
Miriam,
Yes, you can hear you.
Miriam, what will this give us? Don't worry. It is learning. What will be the outcome? What will return? What will come back?
Each state and each amount.
Good. So what will come first, based on how you have written this code? Which one will
It's
show
amount
first?
that will come first. So no, it's supposed to be state first.
And
Yeah,
when you start, you get the point. So help us adjust it.
Yeah.
You know what? Just utter, Joseph.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. You can Ctrl X to.
Then you put it. So Mr. Jude, I can put select distinct state. Yeah. Will it
No,
work?
no. Hold
It
on
won't work.
first. I like what we are doing. It's not about that. Once you understand the interpretation of what you have just done, you know what you have just done. You said that SQL said yes. Help me select state. When you then select state, help me then aggregate. Help me sum amount. So when you sum amount, you now say you should group by state. You already know what group by. You know
Yes,
what
it
that
has
guy will
already
do.
shrink it. Yeah, that's shrink everything.
So
already.
Joseph, run this.
So no need.
Right. So.
Oh, so there was no need for this thing. Okay. Group by
And because you already
okay.
grew by, but finish your work, don't go away. Looking at this table now.
No, as select
okay,
state as
you get just
some amount as amount of states. After that amount, just put the name. No.
After the sum amount.
After some amount, then you just put the amount in front. Just put amount. Yeah.
Okay.
Amount, then
amount.
space.
Because what you have typed now is ASBO. It's the only me that sees that.
At state amount.
Joseph, I hope your laptop has not shut down.
I think it has
hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you, yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes.
You are fine. Run it now.
Okay, it's fine now.
We can see it.
Run it now.
Everyone, hold on. Do you understand this?
Yep.
Okay. Lolo, Joan, Gania, please, do you understand this?
Please, I don't understand though.
Don't worry. That's what we need. Because that's why Joseph and myself, we've been saying anything that we do. Okay, let's read the English. Joseph, the select, don't highlight so that the line is not there. Promise. The meaning of select is bring. They now say bring state. You know that we have a bigger table.
Yes.
So when I say select simply in the layman will mean bring from the entire table. Go and bring state. When you are coming with state, help me add the total money. Help me sum it. Some will then add all of the money. You get all the amount together. So the meaning of amount after that sum amount is that instead of there is what we call alias, meaning that Okay, let me pause a bit. This select state means there is a column called state. So bring that column. You get the point. When you are coming, go and sum amount. You only said you should sum amount. You didn't say the amount should be that, because it will sum amount and bring it back as a column, but there is no header. There is no heading. That's why we then put that amount before the from. Normally, if you want it to be readable, we have said as, there will be alias, which is as before the amount. You get the point. Promise.
Yes.
Okay. So we
Yes,
now
I get
say,
the point now, yes.
this state and the sum you want me to bring, where is it coming from? That is when we use from which table should I go and bring it? He said you should go and bring it from a table called customer group A. And I say, okay, when you are also now bringing it, because if you don't put group by, group means that instead of showing Joseph is from Canada, Promise is from Canada, don't mention the name of the people that are from there. Use their state to group them. Just give me the aggregation, the total coming from each state. That is what group by will now help us to do. To shrink is not to, you get the point, because some of, does it make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Are you fine now?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. So let's celebrate Miriam, please. Let us celebrate Miriam. If you are not clapping, you are not doing well. Let's clap for her. Let's celebrate Miriam.
Miriam, you are celebrated, Miriam. We celebrate you.
Thank you so much, Isaac. So these are good. So Joseph, you can proceed, because this is how to learn and transfer it. Please go ahead.
Definitely.
Joseph, Miriam's leg was shaking when she started. Did you observe that?
Yes. All right.
So
we are all moving along, which is what this class is supposed to be. Very, very much interactive. All right. So we are also, let's look at one last example of group by, because this has been done justice on, but let's just look at one last example and then we can move on. Right. So we have all of this. This is the complete table. So let's see. Okay, so we're using states before, right? So let's still use that example. And then we want to say this time around, we say select states. And this time around, instead of summing the amount, we want to count. Right? States. Small letter S. Now, so what was confusing some people before is aliasing, which we're still going to look into. Now, aliasing is you can use as. So we want to name this as something else. Let's say as number states from this table, customer table. And then, of course, you need to group by states. So let's run this. So you can see that with California, you have 11 people that are from California. For New York, you have 33 people. And for Texas, you have 6 people that are from Texas. So this just further gives you more information about your data. And that is the whole idea of SQL. It's simply, you have a lake or a host of data, and SQL will simply help you give more meaning to those data. Right. So is this clear? Can we move on?
Yes, it is. Yes.
All right, then. All right. So let's look at the next statement, which is our union and join. Union and union all, sorry. All right. So with the union, this is simply just allows you combine several rows of data on each other, on top of each other. Like you stack one table on top of another. And what is the most difference? Both of them will do the same thing with just one difference. Now, with this, let's look at both tables. Let's look at the customer group A and customer group B table. Now, if we select these two, we have this. Okay, so to give us more room to work with. Let's just say top three of these two. And then run it. All right. So showing you top three of this data, you can see that both datas, they are somewhat similar, showing you your customer ID, your first name, your last name, the phone number, email, the streets, city, amount, state, and zip code. Now, what your union will do for you is that union will simply take this table A and B. It will be on a single line. There will be no more demarcation that will demarcate both tables. They will form together, join together to form a single table. Now, I need us to notice something. Let me remove this top so that we'll understand the beauty of this. To execute this, this is showing us that in our table group A, we have 50 rows, right? Let's look how many rows we have in our group B. We also have 50 rows. Now, if we do union, all you simply have to do is to add your union between your two tables. So if you have this and you run it, you see that all the rows combined together, the two tables are combined into one, and you have a total of 100 rows. Now, I was talking about that the two of them will do the same thing, but with a little bit of difference. The union all, what the union all will do is that it will remove the ones that are the same thing. The ones that are the same, it will remove it because it feels like there's no reason to duplicate this record. Since it is the same, I'm just going to pick one. I will not duplicate it. So now let's run this and see if there's any difference. So we're running this, you can see that it still gives you everything, 100 records. So which means that if you look at overall this record, there are no duplicate. Each of these cells are different. For it to be effective, right, it gives you that, it looks at each of the column and each of the rows and makes sure that there are no similar ones. So like I mentioned, the union all will join everything while the union will give you the distinct values. So are we clear on this? Do you have any question?
Sorry, Joseph, I thought it's the union would join everything, then the union all will select, will give you only the ones that are there are no duplicates.
No. The union all will give you everything. Sorry, did I say the other way around? So I'm sorry about that. That must have been a mix-up. Sorry. The union will give you the ones that do not have duplicates. The union all will give you everything, both the ones that have duplicates in them. So is that clear?
Yes.
All right. So now let's look at certain conditions why that
And
this.
it corresponds with this deal will be 70 as well.
Sorry, is someone saying something? Do we have a question? I can hear someone speaking. Do we have a question? Okay, all right. So
I
let's go
guess
ahead
the
then.
person on her mic then talking, then she muted. So go ahead. Okay, there
All
is.
right.
I'll look at this. Go ahead, please. I'll respond to this message.
Okay, all right then. Now, there are certain conditions that we look at when we are using our union or union or statements. Now, first, the union statements can be used when you have two select statements, two or more select statements. That's when you can use your union. You can't use your union on just one select statement. You always give you an error. Another thing that you should look at is that the union must have similar data types. For example, let's remove this. Let me quickly run this. Right? Say top three. Top three. Let's execute this. Now, so if you look at this here, you can see that the customer IDs, they are integers. That is the data type, right? They are numbers. The first name and the last name, they are numbers. Now, let's look at something. Let's say, give me customer ID and union it with first. Give you. Hello, are we together?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, I'm
All
following.
right.
Yes.
Yes. So you
Yes,
can see that
yes.
it will give you an error. Now, please, who can really tell me why this is giving an error? If we are really following, why is this giving us an error?
Because the data type are not the same.
So I didn't get that.
I said because their data type is not the same. Customer ID is integer. Why first name is text?
Exactly. So yes, so that you can see that they will not give you an error, but if we change it to the customer ID, and then we run it, so you see that it actually works. Right. So do we have any question on this before we move ahead to the next one? Do you have any question on
Yes,
this?
I
Or
do have
should
a
we?
question on this.
All right, beautiful.
I have a question on this.
Okay,
So what
all
if
right.
the header is different? The header name is different. Let's assume customer ID is written as customer ID on table A and it's written as ID on table B, but they have the same data type. Will it
Yes,
union
it
it
will.
together?
Yes, it will. It will. Now, in fact, let's even look at that. Let's get this off. Let's look at that. Let's look at a typical example of that. So we want to union first name on table A, right? And want to union it with city on table B. So first name, then city. So you can see it. Because they have the same data type, your data would not make sense, but it will union. Because you can see some people's name and you can see city all joined together. So does that answer your question?
Who asked?
Hello.
Ganiyat, right?
Yes, I thank you. Yes. I'll be sent now.
Okay. All right then. Any other question before we move on to the next thing?
Hold on, Miriam dropped something. I just wanted to point that aggregation function will not work without river. Of course, yes. So can we hear me just to be sure? My internet simple. I want
Yes,
to
yes, we
change.
can hear you.
Okay.
Can hear
So
you.
Miriam is just trying to say I should reiterate on this for others. You know, the last time that we use that we don't use group by. Okay, please go back to your SSMS. So what Miriam was saying, if you scroll back up to, unless you have deleted, okay, I think, but you're fine. Miriam was trying to, okay, if you look at select top 5 that we did the other time, or even in select the amount, if you don't group by. So Miriam is just trying to say that for others that are just getting started, right? When you aggregate, you know that sum is a function that we add, that we aggregate. So when you aggregate or when you use aggregation function, right, in your select statement, do not forget to group by. Everyone, do you understand? Anytime you use sum, anytime you use average, anytime you use any function that aggregates, do not forget to use group by. So that is very important. If you don't use group by, okay, so I need Joseph to run it. That group by state, remove that group by. You know what I mean? Number
Sorry,
10.
please come again, sir. I didn't get that.
That number 10 query, remove the group by.
Okay.
You can remove state too, so that everyone will understand what, then run it. There will be an error. So that is what that is really saying, that you cannot, and look at every time you run something and there's an error, the error message will also give you an idea that column customer group state is invalid in select list because it is not contained in either an aggregation. You can scroll, maybe an aggregated or aggregation something. The point is that anytime you are using aggregation, okay, you can see aggregation function or the group by clause. So it's already telling you that something is missing. So giving you an idea. So anytime you are using, anytime you are aggregating or you are selecting with an aggregation function, you should remember your group by. That's all. So, but everyone, so far so good. I hope you are fine.
Yes.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
Okay.
Yes.
I need to, let me point out something from that top, just like now I was talking. Okay, since, have you done join? You have not done join, right?
No,
Yes,
we
sir.
have not. No, we
Okay,
have
please
not.
go ahead.
We'll do that
Go
now.
ahead. Go ahead. Proceed, please.
All right. So let's look at the next one. So we want to look at joins. Our time is already spent. Hopefully we'll be able to cover what we have. Now, joins, with joins, this allows you to combine 2 or more tables together as long as they have a common column, right? That's what we use with joins. As long as they have a common column, you can combine 2 or more tables together, right? I can hear a feedback. Can person please mute? Please
Don't worry,
promise.
I've
Thank
muted
you.
that. Proceed.
All right. Now, we have different types of joins, right? So we have your inner join. The inner join, which is still the same thing as join. Once you see your join statement, it's the same thing as inner join. We now have the outer joins. Now, in your outer joins, you have your left join, right? Which you can also call left outer join. It's practically the same thing, but people like to call it differently. It depends on what you want to go with. You also have your right join, which is the same thing as right
Apologies. So
outer.
someone DM me. So let us reflect. Let's go back to the previous query.
Okay.
Then we'll come back to this. The person is interested in having. I don't know why they can't put it here. Anyone that want to ask a question, don't send me it here. Put it there. So the person is trying, when we're doing between the other time.
Yes.
Anyways, this person is interested in having that. How does it work? So which one can we alter? Let's use this this one that we just altered and group by something. Or you can copy it and come and let's rewrite, select sum of amounts. No, the one before, that number 10. Correct. So copy it and let's come and finish. All right, thank you. Then put group by. But I'm going to alter, or should we write, okay, just put group by state first. Then press enter, don't run it yet.
Okay.
Press enter, don't run it yet. Good, I'm wrapping my head, I'm sorry, because this table, I don't know, I just want to try and, so let me just say something, then both of you know how to put it together. Select, I'm looking at the state, then sum of amount as amount from this table and group by. Okay, good. You can continue. Either we continue here or we continue on that line. Just I don't like when it is too long. Having, type having. Having.
Yeah.
Some, you get the point. Having some of, you get, but you know what I mean. Having some, the open brackets, amount that is greater or equal to, Joseph, on that table, which is the, you know your table.
Yes.
Just put, do we have like 200, anything that is more than 500,000, is it on that table?
No, I think we have above 200, but I'm not sure we have up to 500.
And so you might want to, maybe above 100. You get.
Okay.
Is there quantity? Is there a column for quantity?
Oh, no, there's no column for quantity.
All right. And so you can run this.
Oh, we actually do have 500.
Okay. Anyways, the person that asked this question is on this call. I hope. But if there's anyone on this call that does not understand what we just did, please ask. Just run the first line or duplicate this so that you run the two simultaneously so that people can see the difference. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yes.
So remove this one, correct. Let's run this together so that people will understand. We need to know which, I don't know what is on the table actually. So I just use, okay, let's change that one to maybe 200, the one at the top. You get. Maybe 200,000 or, okay, 500. Is there any other thing? Okay, 500,000 so that it can reflect in a way. So let's run it. Both. So, okay. Anyway, just know that this has worked. It's just that it is Joseph that developed the table. Assuming I know the range of, so what does this mean? If you say where salary, where sum is greater than a particular amount, I will not use admin. I will use where clause. This is, but for that person that asked, don't worry. Maybe we'll take one of those classes and expatiate further on this when we have a bigger table. So please, you can continue.
All right.
Joseph, please continue with the join.
Yes. Yeah. All right. So we're speaking on join, and we're talking about that join allows you combine two or more tables as long as they have a similar column. And we're also looking at the different types of joins that we have. We have the inner join, which is the same thing as join, and the outer joins, which comprises of your left join or your left outer join, the same thing. Then your right join and your right outer join. Now, let's look at these two tables, the personal table and the work table. So let's say select
So everyone, we'll wrap up in 10 minutes. So don't worry, we'll continue. We'll continue the series. So.
all right. So let's execute this. So now, if we adjust this a little so we can have more clarity on our data. So if you look at these two tables that we have, which columns are exactly the same thing? From what we have from this table that we have here, which columns
ID column.
Yeah, the ID columns. So you can see that this is a personal information of a staff. You can see that this is his first name, his last name, his phone number, the email, where he lives, the state, and the zip code. While this is the work information of that staff, the department which he or she works in, the salary, the rank that they occupy in their workplace, and year of service and what in their last appraisal. But if you look at it, that there's one thing that is the same, either in their personal and their work, is that they have one ID. One ID. You can see that Lydia has 5724 as the ID in personal and also 5724 in work. So it is that now that we're not going to use that particular column that we're going to be able to join these tables together with. Now, let's look at a simple join statement, and you can say select star from personal I can either say inner join or I can just say join, any of which is fine. It will give you practically the same thing, right? So join on the other table, which is work. Now, the key statement on this is on. So you have this table, the personal and the work, but which column do you want to join them on? So we are joining them on personal dot ID equal to work dot ID, right? So if we run these statements, so you can see that these two tables have now become. So you have your ID here. Let's move here. And you can see the same ID here. The two tables have now joined together to become one. But let's select certain things from the table. We don't want to join everything at once. Let's say we are interested in the first table, we want to pick the first name and the last name. And from the second table, we want to pick the salary. So we want this first name, the last name, and we want salary. But in this table, we do not have salary here. So there are certain things that we are interested in the personal table, and there are also certain things we are interested in the work table. So we'll now tweak this statement and say, for personal, give me the first name, give me the last name, and for work, give me the salary. All right. Let's run this. So you can see this statement here that we have your first name, you have your last name, and we have your salary. So you've been able to take
Yeah, I cannot see this statement too. Oh, okay. Okay, I can see it now. You just
There was a
updated now.
delay, so it's fine.
Okay, all right. So you've been able to take two different tables. You have selected things that you want from each table. We're already out of time, but I wish if I would have another time for the series where we can now look at time to break this down to several drawings like your inner outer, alias this to make our work easier. For example, I can come here and alias this and say as P, but it's not usually advisable to use one word because you might get lost along the way. And work as W. So instead of coming here to type personal, I can just come here and say P. I need to recognize it. So this makes your work a little bit faster. Right? And then come here, say P. Come here and say W. So if I run this, it's practically give me the same thing. Right. So do we have any question on this?
Any question, everyone? I think they are fine. I think so.
All right. So Mr. Jide, do we still have time or are we out of
Let,
time already?
let's stop here, don't worry. So that we don't we wouldn't take too much of the time. So what we'll do, everyone, thank you for being on the call. So what we'll do is we would agree on when we are meeting next. So Miriam, I would also need you to start taking some topics. So you might need to work with Joseph so that the next series, so this series will just continue, so that the next series, you and Joseph, maybe you take, Joseph, look at your laptop before it goes off, so that you take a particular or selected topics so that Joseph would also take or finish this one. So Miriam, let's get, if yes, you say yes. If no, say no. Say it now. Don't dare me. Don't drop message. So you have to answer now so that we know, so that we can then say, okay, in the next 1 week or in the next 2 weeks, we are holding the next series. We are holding the next series. So Miriam, your mic is muted. So everyone, while we wait for that, what did you learn today? Did you learn anything? Did you get the point? Lolo, did you learn anything? Ganiat, Joseph, I'm sure you learned why you we learned from ourselves, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
Good. So I'm waiting. What are those things you learned? Juliet, react. Don't give it thumbs up. You can chat if there is noise around you. We just want to know if there is any new thing, because the most important thing is that anytime we come together, what are those things that we have added?
May I say something, sir? Mr.
Who is this? Your name?
My name is Wale. Wale Solomon. All right. So thank you, Mr. Joseph and Mr. Olajide, for taking our time to do this. It has always been awesome seeing how selfless you guys are. God bless you indeed in Jesus' name. One of the things I've learned here today is the place of union and union all. I've used SQL a couple of times in the past. I have never asked myself that question: what is the difference between union and union all? Then the first clarity I'm also able to get for the first time in relation to the join came from what Mr. Joseph did just briefly now. Then the using alias for tables, as he just did, personal as P and W as work, just kind of resonates, makes sense to me, despite having seen it a couple of times. So I've been able to learn what those things actually mean, and I can go ahead and start using them in my work going forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you for this. Thank you. Juliet, did you learn anything? And what are other things you also like us to do? You get it, but what are those things you would like us to add to this one, so that would help us to put all of this together in order to be able to impact? You get the point. So Tunes dropped a message saying that I learned how to use the select statement, join union statement by combining two different tables together. So if there are things you would also want us to do, you get the point. Sending it ahead would help us to align our thoughts together and ensure that we do this, so that it won't be that we have a long break, so we can delegate responsibilities, assign people that would, you get the point, just like Joseph is doing now. So Miriam, I've not heard from you. You can't run away from taking some sessions. So, oh, Belema, I think you joined late. So Ganiat, are you fine? What did you learn today? Lolo, what did you learn today? Miriam, what did you learn today? Because we want to close the session. Promise, what did you learn? Lolo, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Mr. Lajide, as usual. So first things first, most important, I learned that we cannot, if possible, we should not even use those logical operators on SQL. So it's more like it must be written in English statements, or those between, have, and other things. Also, I learned again that if you want to do an aggregation, like a sum of anything on SQL, there must be a statement that follows it. That's the group by statement. So those are the key important things I learned today.
Thank you for that. Ganiat, you want to react? Promise, what did you learn? Because this is your first time in the group. So what did you learn? Mr. Clinch, though I've seen you, but I don't know if you or not. So from what people have said,
I learned,
go ahead, man. Go ahead, please.
I noticed that SQL is way different from Power BI and Excel. And I also learned that when you're doing sum, we have to use group by if it's not. And I learned the top, the select, and the rest. How to go about it. The top 5, top 2 doesn't mean that's the. I don't know. Have I learned a lot, Sha? I don't know how to explain it.
Okay. If I say I need the top 100, select 100, select top 100, or select first 100, that one is just going to filter off the first. But if you say top 100, and then you are saying based on number, based on value, not alphabet.
Yes,
I guess that's what you're trying to say. Okay. So
yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I was the one that was talking.
Oh, I was thinking it's Ghania too. So sorry.
It's Promise that I've been talking.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Ghania, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Sam. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you. God bless you. So I learned more about the group by statement, the having. I'm glad that we actually talked about the having. So the join as well. I think I've told Mr. Olajide before that I really, really want to learn about join. No matter how much I try to learn it on my own, I don't get it. And I really look forward for us to delve into it more, to talk about the types and the outer join, inner join, and all. Well, today was really, really good. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. So, Joseph, that means that next class, we need to start from maybe union, you get, or I mean, just ensure that we're able to explain join. And you get the point. So, Miriam, you have not responded. So, thank you, everyone. I will stop recording. Madam Janet. Yes, Miriam, go ahead.
Apologies, Mr. Jude. I didn't know you mentioned my name. I left for a bit. Just big shout out to you. Thank you for all the work you've been doing. It's been years now. and we keep learning from you. Thank you so much for everything you do.
Thank you, ma. Hold on, don't mute. You and Joseph, you are working, you are taking the session next. So the session, so you need to put that together if it's going to happen in 2 weeks. Let's say the next 2 weeks. Lolo, am I speaking your mind? Ganiat, am I speaking your mind?
I didn't hear before. I'm sorry. No problem, sir. That will be fine.
And so, please, so that you can let us know the topics you want to take.
Will be great.
No, let's do
Next
2
week
weeks.
Saturday is so close, though. 2 weeks, sir.
Let's do 2 weeks. So please, let's do 2 weeks. So Miriam, please, you and Joseph will be taking that session. So you need to then let me know the topic you'll be comfortable taking so that we can put all of this together. Madam Janet, you want to say something, right?
No, sir. Everything is fine. It was a nice session, sir. Thank you, Mr. Joseph.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're very
Everyone.
much welcome. Thank you.
Bye,
Hello?
everyone. Yes, go ahead. You want to say something? Go ahead, please. Promise.
I think the video will be posted in the group so that if you can go back and watch it.
Yes,
if it's
of
going
course.
to be shared. Okay,
Yes.
thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Okay, sir.
Bye, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the day. Bye. Thank you.
Bye, sir.
Bye-bye, sir.
Thank you,
Bye,
sir.
everyone.
Bye.
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 Bye, everyone.